Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment of the weekend show. As I said earlier, today's episode is dedicated to the victims of police brutality all across the nation. We want you to remember their names: Jimo Ishiak, Sleek, Ayomide Taiwo, Peter Oforum, Chika Ibeku, Chibuke Anams, Ifoma Abugu, Christian Onugbo, Emmanuel Egbo, Victor Madumago, Chidi Odinawo, Stephen Agbanyim, Tony Oruma, Tiamu, Musab, Kolade, Onovo, Chinedu, Precious, Richard, Chijoke, Linda, Daniel, Harry, Johnson, Femi, Chima, God's Gift, Gabriel, Tina, Modebayo, Linda, Daniel, Chukwuemeka, Chika, Azumak, Rinji, Tiamu, Anita, Joseph, Chibuke, Ifeanyi, Chinedu, Augustina, Anthony, Paulinos, Ikena, Emeka, Ademola, Ismaila, Miracle, Sunday, Joy. These are the names of human beings that have lost their lives to police brutality. And this is why we're here today. Joining us to discuss this, we have
Colonel Hassan Stan Labo, retired, Aisha Yesufu, and Segun Awosanya. Welcome to the Weekend Show.
Aisha, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me start with you. I don't know if you watched the earlier segments of the program. The federal government has said that they have acceded to 5 out of 5 of the demands of the protesters, and they're wondering why are Nigerians still flooding the streets across the nation. What is your response to that?
My response to that is that the federal government is known to say one thing and not do, or to do another thing, or to say they will do something and not do it. And so the protesters know that. It's not just to say that you've acceded to their demands, you're going to do it. The protesters are saying they need to see action. They need to see the federal government doing this. What are some of the demands? All protesters should be released, right? Protesters, there are still protesters who are in custody. There are still protesters who are being arrested. Also, the disbanded stars are still on the streets. Video evidence are coming out that they are still on the streets. Why the federal government is saying all of these things? They are still killing protesters. On the day that the president made announcement that the stars has been disbanded and that is the first step towards the whole overall police reform, protesters were killed in Lagos. Yesterday, protesters were killed in Benin. Protesters have been attacked by military. Protesters were shot at. So at the end of the day, the federal government isn't doing what it is doing. The federal government is doing what it usually does, which is to just come out and say, we're doing something, we're going to do something, and they actually do nothing. And right now, the protesters are saying and insisting that they are going to they're not going to be on the streets until they see action. In June of 2019, a report was given to the president on the whole of the NSAS and the brutality and everything. It's over how many years, how many months? About 16 months now. And the president hasn't done anything. The government hasn't done anything. So nothing really has been done. They're just talking. It's movement without motion for them, and the protesters are demanding for motion.
Let me bring Segun in. Segun, you have been an activist for a long time. I've actually seen you at lots of protests, and since 2017 when NSAS started, you were one of the people who championed that, and several Nigerians can attest to the fact that you have helped people retrieve money collected by police officers and people who have been locked up illegally. However, in the recent days, in the last 1 week where we've had the NSAS protest, in a recently deleted tweet, I recall you disassociating yourself from the protest and also stating that the group is now being overrun by cultists who are raising money illegally. And so you have discredited the current protest, but you've also come back to acknowledge it. Don't you think that this is causing a lot of confusion? So I'd like you to give clarity to this. Do you support the NSAS protest? And if so, why has this been discredited by you, even though this was deleted?
You know that the emotions are high, and when you're trying to make logical sense in an environment where emotions are high, you are bound to be misconstrued. What I was trying to express was simply this: there's a difference between the advocacy and the protest. The advocacy was a structured engagement of government, respecting the chain of command and opening their eyes to this reality. We are preparing both the government and the people for a time where citizens who have been going through a lot, who have been oppressed, who have been suppressed, who have been attacked, who have been violated by people who are meant to protect them. I have not changed my views. I've been consistent. And I've been saying that I may not be able to call people to come out to protest, because the moment that happens, it will be very, very difficult to bring them back in. And it is happening today. Why? Because government have not made a believer of the people. When you have a generation, or when you have a country where 70% of the population are youth, your nation is youthful. And when they come out like this to the street, this is Nigerians speaking to you. So it's not about discrediting protests. I support their protests. I've always said that. I support the protests. I support the constitutionally backed rights to assemble and to come together. But what I would not, shy away from is the fact that the moment it has gotten to a point where the protest is open, it is subject to a lot of influence.
So
And
Shagun,
this is
just to
exactly
be
what I was
clear,
raising.
sorry for interrupting, but just to be clear, within the last hour, you posted the tweet which said, yes, these are our kids, which I say a lot of people are already upset about, but you've also said they can be intolerant and rude. Now, the young people are complaining
Yes.
that this is what the older generation have been saying, and so they don't take them serious. Now, you being somebody who is quite influential in this space, saying things like they are intolerant and rude,
Listen.
doesn't that give credibility to the
No,
lack
it
of action by the
doesn't. I am
government?
in the middle. Look, listen, I am in the middle, just like Aisha is. We have been speaking for quite a while. When you are in the middle, you see both sides. I see how the adults interpret what is going on here. And you can tell that the protest you are seeing today was built on the premise, on an ongoing conversation that the advocacy have laid down. So we cannot disassociate ourselves from the right of the citizenry. What we can do is, when we see any sort of influence that does not mirror the things that we hope for, because that will put the lives of our youth in danger, we must flag it as adults. So regardless of how many people take offense to anything that is said, the truth must be told, and it has been consistently told. So what I'm trying to say is this: when you when you allow your emotions to take the best of you, you will be misinterpreted. So it's not about disowning anything. It's about saying, be circumspect. It's about saying, government, listen to the people. It's about saying, show restraint. It's about saying, we are one. We are all Nigerians, and we must always respect other people's views. The fact that I don't agree with you does not mean I hate you. And that's exactly what is happening on the street. Anybody who doesn't say anything that caresses your sentiments totally is somebody for you to attack. And it's not so. The adults will not take it easy. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. This is...
Colonel Hassan, let me bring you in here. Can you hear me, first of all? Colonel Hassan? Can you hear me? All right, Aisha, let me go back to you. I was going to ask the Colonel about the security implications of the protest. Largely, it's been quite peaceful across the nation. However, we've seen the police, who is actually meant to protect the protesters, fire live ammunition, on them at several different states. So talk to us about the security implications of the protest. We saw in Edo State yesterday someone was shot. Amnesty International, the country director, Osasu, who we spoke to earlier, reported that 10 persons as of a few days ago had lost their lives as a result of the protest. So what are the larger security implications of this protest? And when do you think this protest will come to an end? Because we all know the protest isn't the end itself. It's a means to an end.
Well, the protest will come to an end when the government decides to do the needful. Right now, the government isn't doing the needful. Before I come to the question that you're asking, I think one of the things that we need to understand is that No one Nigeria is more than any Nigerian, no matter what your age is, educational qualification, your economic status, or whatever. We are all citizens, and that's what we must understand. Whether one is 70 or one is 18, we are all adults, and we are all citizens of this country that can vote and be voted for. And we should just accept that as it is. And one of the things also we need to understand is the fact that whatever advocacy had gone on, yes, there are a lot of advocacy that have gone on the EdSat issues, which a lot of Nigerians appreciate. But the thing is that the protest is saying they want to put an end to a situation where somebody has to send to look for help. When you're asking for help and then that help is gotten, it means there's a problem. What they're saying that help, that issue of people coming out to say, oh, we've been attacked by SARS, our monies have been collected, and the whole problem is solved, need to end. It doesn't have to happen. Let people want a situation whereby people will not need help on that. In terms of the security situation, the protesters have been exemplary. They have done everything within the ambit of the law. They have been law abiding. They have been the modern Nigeria that we all want to see. It's the government that has been irresponsible. It's the government that hasn't shown any sign of leadership. It's the government that has been antagonistic. It's the government that has been attacking the protesters, not just attacking them, killing them. They use police to tear gas them, shoot at them. They kill them. They use police to kill them. They brought in the military to the National Assembly. They have used hoodlums. They have used practically everything. They have tried to ban the protest. It's the government. And the security implication of this all is that the more this thing goes, not just the security, economic implication, everything, the worse it's going to be. Right now, we are seeing a situation whereby government websites are being attacked. And I look at myself and I think, don't this government and also the rest of the Nigerians understand what this protest is all about? This protest is a protest for survival. It's not a protest of empathy. It's not like, oh, you came out, something is happening to some people, and then you feel bad, you come out, you are making demands for them. That's protest for empathy. This one is, we are being killed. The youth are saying they are being killed. They are being killed under the cover of darkness. They are being killed and being wasted and nothing is happening. And they're tired of it. And they are coming onto the streets to demand that this be stopped, this be ended. And so killing them, what it means is that you're simply doing what you normally do anyway. So they've said they would rather stay on the street and be killed in broad daylight so that the whole world will see what the government is doing to them, rather than for them to go back and then they'll be killed one after the other. And there are already rumors going on that the government wants to deploy military. There are already some people calling on the government to deploy military. That would be the worst mistake that they will make. This generation is not like our generation that we were brutalized and made to be as subservient in our own country. This is a generation that has had 21 years of uninterrupted democracy.
Aisha, I'm very sorry, I would have to interrupt you so that we can get Colonel Hassan Sabo, retired, to give a final comment because we're running out of time. Colonel, this protest is still going on. It's a reality and the people are angry. What do you think is the way forward and the security implication of this? Just to close this, what do you think is the way forward? Because this is still going on and there doesn't seem to be an end to it. So what should government do?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Please, can you be louder? I didn't hear you. I didn't get your question.
So the question is, the protests are still going on. The people are still angry. They feel the demands have not been met. What do you think government should do right now to end all of this and to make everybody happy and to regain faith in the people and the people in government?
Well, I will advise that government should address the problems, the demands immediately.
Go on.
Are you there?
Yes, please, go on.
All right, it
seems...
Colonel, I'm so sorry to interject and cut you off, but it seems we've actually run out of time. We would love you to come back on the program next weekend as we continue the conversation. Aisha, Segun, Colonel, Hassan, thank you so much for joining us in today's program. The conversation continues on our social media handle at Weekend Show NG, at Andy Madaki, at Osasu Igbinedion, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll see you same time, same place next week. Until then, keep exercising your fundamental human rights. God bless you and stay safe.